This is Liljokerautobroker coming to you live from the great state of Florida. And today we're going to talk about the Ford Motor Company. They just announced their first quarter earnings of 2024, and I did quite a bit of research to figure this stuff out. It's very interesting, and let's get started. Henry Ford made the first Ford car in 1896 in Detroit. So the Ford Motor Company has been around for over 125 years now. And you fast forward to last year, 2023, the CEO of Ford, he made $26 million last year. Now Ford just announced their first quarter earnings, and let me back it up and go into 2023 before we get into the first quarter earnings of Ford, so you can understand exactly where I'm coming from on this. In 2023, Ford lost $4.7 billion in the year of 2023 on their electric vehicles. They had a huge loss. They lost $65,000 for every electronic vehicle that they sold. They also led the U.S. in recalls, and they had 5.7 million recalls in 2023 on Fords. Now, Ford has a lot of nicknames that they've made up over the years, and I made this one up all by myself, and it is Ford stands for First on Recall Division. Okay, so I just recapped the 2023 numbers of Ford, recalls being the last of that. Let me start with the good news of 2024 with Ford. Kind of hard to believe that there is good news, but there is. Their fleet vehicles, your vans that you use for business, and they also do a lot of fleet trucks. They do the Maverick truck, and they only do them kind of per order. Like if you have a shipping business and you need 20 trucks, they'll manufacture 20 white Ford Maverick F-150s or their Ford Transit vans for you. They have substantially increased in sales. However, Ford doesn't charge as much money for the fleet vehicles as they do the retail vehicles. So you don't see the fleet vehicles on their lot. You see a lot of F-150s. You don't see a lot of the entry-level vehicles, which I'm going to dive into a little bit deeper here in just a moment. So I just went over the good news. Now I'm going to go over the bad news. Strap in. In 2024, Ford lost $1.3 billion in the first quarter. They're down 66% from last year in sales. They stopped production of the EV models, some of them, if not all of them. Now, they expect to lose another $5 billion this year. They lost $4.7 billion last year, so it's going to be about the same. That's a lot of money for a business. Last year, they lost $65,000 per electronic vehicle. In the first quarter of 2024, they've lost $132,000 per electronic vehicle that they made. Okay, now during the pandemic, Ford made a lot of high-end F-150 trucks, a lot of high-end vehicles, and they kind of slowed way down on the production of the entry-level models. You know, your Ford Mavericks. They don't even make the sedans. Like almost any Ford lot that you go onto, they're loaded with F-150s. You can't find the entry-level Maverick pickup trucks, and people are they're not looking to spend between $60,000 and $80,000 on a new vehicle. They're looking for more affordable products. So Ford's business model may have worked well during the pandemic. However, now, we're on the opposite end of this. So, Ford's business model, unfortunately, doesn't mesh well with our economy at this time. Now, Ford still has a lot of last year F-150s available. When I checked about a week ago, they had 20,000 2023 F-150 trucks available. Now they're offering $10,000 off MSRP and 1.9% financing, which is a good deal if you don't mind buying last year's model. MSRP is still much higher from last year's truck, even at $10,000 off, than it was 4 or 5 years ago. So you have to keep that in mind if you're interested in purchasing a new truck. But they do have a lot of the 2023 F-150s available at a discount price at a much lower APR. So Ford, like I said earlier, they have a lot of expensive vehicles on the lot that people can't afford. Now, I looked into this and this surprised me a little bit. In 2021, Ford stopped the production of the Ford Fiesta, the Ford Fusion, the Ford Focus, and the Ford Taurus. Those are your small vehicles and your family sedans. So they don't have a lot of selection like they used to have. So that's created part of the problem of this mess that they're in. Now, on a lighter note, Ford does make a few entry-level affordable vehicles. A few, and I'm going to name them. They have the Broncos. They start at about $30,000, and when you figure in inflation, $30,000 is a pretty good starting price on a vehicle in 2024. They make those Broncos with a 3-cylinder turbo motor. So I don't know much about that 3-cylinder turbo, but I'm not a fan of 3-cylinder motor cars. They made a lot of Broncos. They did not make a lot of the Mavericks. The Mavericks start at only $24,000. Most of the Ford Maverick pickup trucks that they make are already allocated for with the fleet line of vehicles. You just can't walk onto a lot and they have like 100 Mavericks for you to pick. They might have 150 F-150s, but the Mavericks just are not available, and Ford would sell a lot more vehicles if they made the Maverick available and had it at more car lots, but they want to push you into the more pricey F-150. Now, Ford is still the second largest seller of vehicles in the U.S. Last year, they sold 2 million vehicles in the U.S. They also sold 4 million vehicles worldwide. In closing, I just want to go over, Ford has a lot of nicknames, and I remembered a few of them, and I'd like to share them with you. Hopefully you get a kick out of it. Ford stands for First on Race Day. A lot of you may have heard this. Fixed or repaired daily. Found on road dead. This liljokerautobroker, I want to thank you for watching my video. I am working for clicks. Whatever I can do to help you, please like, subscribe, make your comments, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.